in a broken wasteland. Come to my fire.
All right, metalheads, thank you for tuning in this week to the Metal Forge. My name is Mark Jackson, and I am your host. This week we have the awesome band of Rat King here with us, and this is the day before the birthday show, the big goddamn birthday show at Art Sanctuary, where Rat King will be playing. You might notice the handsome duder in the middle from Ice Howl, Mr. Kyle Wilcher. Why don't you introduce the rest of Rat King for us, dude?
Yeah. So this is Jason. He plays bass. This is my brother. And
I couldn't tell.
Andre. Yeah, right. And this is Andre on lead guitar over here. And
oh yeah, power trio coming in. I dig it. You know, I'm a huge fan of power trios. Rush, Motorhead, Rat King. You know, it's awesome stuff. So how's it going? How's Evansville?
Oh man, it's just busy over here. I mean, we're practicing like crazy, getting ready for stuff, and all the stuff coming up, and the show tomorrow, and just staying busy, balancing day jobs and the band.
Dude, that's what it's all about anymore, is balancing day jobs and the band. And you know, if you have multiple of any of those, it seems like all of us do these days.
Yeah. That
we either have multiple bands, multiple day jobs, or whatever. How's that working out for you all with the balancing act? Because it can be hard, especially when, you know, like you and I both have a 2-hour drive to practice
for
Ice Howl. So how's balance for you? For all three of you, actually.
Yeah. I can't speak for them. I know me personally, like it's always a constant struggle, but it's a labor of love for sure, you know, because like you were talking about multiple of either of those, and I guess I would say I have multiple jobs, like
sure,
because I lawn care for people, and then I do drum lessons sometimes, I do drum commissions, I do like everything I can to stay busy in like multiple facets. And then balancing that on, you know, playing shows, practicing, and all that is definitely a challenge. But I'll let them talk to you.
For sure.
I work a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, as a maintenance man, training to take over as maintenance supervisor here in a few years. So plenty of days of just clocking out and driving right to practice.
Yeah.
And, you know, anyone who gigs, plays music, they know how rough that can be, you know, but as soon as you start making noise, you get into it.
Sure.
But
it's worth it once you get there.
my fiance and I were buying our first house and expecting our first child, so that schedule is going to get a whole lot tighter.
You know, that the nights of practice or the weeks of practicing 3 or 4 nights a week to hone the craft are going to get they're going to shorten out quite a bit. Yeah, that always seems the way that goes.
Mm-hmm. So really with a lot of things, it's just right now, you know, here in a couple months, just remains to be seen, I guess, you know, how much time I'm able to dedicate and what it means for everyone. But just something to figure out when we get there, I guess.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I work a lot too. I work like basically all through the day, like 10 to 8. So I have like maybe 1 free day a week.
Yeah, we're usually going around his schedule because he's got the wacky hours over here.
The retail hours.
Fuck that schedule. Yeah. I had a schedule like that before where I worked 11 to 8, and it was terrible. And you know, I had that when I was like in my early 20s, and it was awful because malls were still a thing. You know, most malls are not a thing anymore. But like it was bad because, like, you know, most malls open around 10. So you'd have to get there as soon as the place would start to open to get anything done, and they would close at 9. Yeah. So yeah, it's just like a pain in the ass mid shift. I hated that.
Yeah, that's what it is for me. I work at the mall.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it
is. That's well, at least you work at the mall. I worked in a call center, so you know, so like, yeah, it's like I worked right in the middle of your shift.
Yeah, oh, it sucks. But I mean, I try and make like music, and I take priority over this. But definitely been a few times where I've called in to play shows.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
yeah, because why wouldn't you?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
you never know who could be there. That's the
Right.
thing.
yeah,
And that's what I've always liked about, the music scene is it doesn't ever matter about what's that being discovered. Being discovered is, that used to be the thing back in the day, back when I was when I was a kid kind of shit. And now
Mhm.
it's so completely different
mhm,
Yeah.
that it's like everybody's already discovered to a degree,
Yeah.
mhm.
especially with the Facebook and Instagram and
Yeah.
Bandcamp and Spotify and all those.
You're not mailing demos or anything out anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything shifted to an email base. And honestly, mailing demos out back fucking 30 years ago was definitely an interesting thing.
Hmm.
And would I do it again in a fucking heartbeat? If
Yeah.
I could blink the internet shit out of existence, I
Yeah.
would fucking do it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
It's a
this
it's a
would go
blessing
back to
and a curse
mhm.
for
it
sure.
is. It's a blessing and a curse because of the snail mail and all of that shit, and then it getting
Yeah.
lost. And but anyways, that's a whole other story for a whole other time
Right.
as I talk about this, and I talk about derailed, and this show is nothing but derailed all the fucking time.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. I've been on
derailed
here.
is just our random question segment.
Yeah.
So obviously you all had a pretty big show here at the end of March. You all played with Castle Rat. Super rad fucking times. I of course did not get to make it to that show because it was midweek and frazzled. Pretty much kind of the way I am today for,
Understandable.
by the time we're recording this interview.
Yeah.
Kyle at least said tomorrow for the show.
Yeah.
Um, so what is going on for 2025 in the year of the rat?
Yeah. It's gearing up to be a big one. We're trying to make it a big one.
Mhm.
We've got album 2 officially recorded. It's currently in like the finalization processes of being mixed and mastered, and I'm not sure exactly. We haven't said specifically what day yet because it's kind of subject to change when it's coming out. But I
Well,
want it to
yeah.
be a summer release.
Mhm. We've also been working on merch. I don't know what we're gonna do, but we've
Yeah.
been we've been thinking about it.
Yeah, we got a lot of big plans for merch,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
especially like for this album cycle. When we did the first one back in 2021, it's like uh, we could have planned things a little better. I mean, it worked out, but like this time, I want to make sure we have vinyl
mhm,
for one thing
Sure.
because people are always asking us for vinyl, and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's time. It's time we join the vinyl
yeah,
the vinyl club here.
Well, the
So
thing with vinyl is, back when it was before what is it the line in Star Wars, before the dark times, before the Empire, before COVID happened,
yeah,
it was pretty readily accessible. Yeah, the pricing was still there, but it was pretty anybody could pretty much go and do it.
yeah,
And then during COVID, not only was there the pandemic that screwed everything up, but a lot of issues also happened with a manufacturing plant fire
oh yeah,
oh,
yeah,
that had happened. And but there was a plant fire that caused a surge, to lose a lot of product,
yeah,
so there was there were stamping plates and stuff, lacquers and shit that got damaged and couldn't be repaired. So that also put things back.
yeah,
And it became a time, between especially 2021 and 2023 that you had a lot of album release stagger releases. You would have like the album release in like January, but you wouldn't get your vinyl until fucking October and shit because
yeah,
of the issue with it.
yeah.
But yeah, so I totally know what you mean about wanting to have vinyl and everything. And it's out there, but it's almost as if, you got to find the deal. And with everything going on now, politically, tariff wise, fucking whatever, all that shit's going to come about, that's a lot of independent people get stuff through the Czech Republic. That's going to get a bit fucky.
And that's going to get screwed up. Yeah.
Well, it's odd talking about COVID because it's just such a blur, that entire like 2 fucking was. Mm-hmm. But like most bands, we pretty much just packed in during all of that. So there wasn't anything to do. But all of our shirts and hats and patches and whatnot we used to get from a company called Industrious Dudes. And
he knows.
Oh, you know about Industrious Dudes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a little business run by one of my favorite bands, the Coffin Cats. So it was really cool growing up, listening to them, and then ended up getting shirts made by them. And once we started working on the first record, it was coming down to getting shirts and stuff again. So I emailed them. Hey, what's up, guys? We're back in the saddle. Let's get some stuff going. They emailed back, and it was a funny feeling. It's like I just had no idea what happened to him, and I think it was Vic, the lead singer of the Coffin Cats. He emailed back. He was like, "Hey man, I don't know if you've seen it, but we're not doing this anymore. Mm-hmm. The COVID kind of killed that." I was like, "Oh, yeah, oops, yeah, not bad." So now we're still trying to find other ways to do that. We've been making stuff on our own. Yeah, but it'd be nice to get back to the quality that we had, with
for sure,
screen print and everything.
And that's the thing, you've got to have a quality product with your merch, whether it be shirts, albums, CDs, lighter cases, whatever, whatever it is that you do, you got to have quality, because if you don't, then what's the point of even doing it? Because that's just isn't cool. But Kyle and I have talked about this privately, outside about just like looking into doing it yourself, as like doing the same thing like Vic and them had done. Getting a Cricut, doing your own screen printing. CDs, are cheap enough as it is that you could pretty much get away with doing them. And if you did do them on your own, the machines for those have come down in price considerably too.
We did CDs once.
Yeah, back when we first started the band, half of us were like still in high school, and we were going to Walmart and buying a pack of jewel cases. That we were doing CDs that way back in the day.
Okay, so I'm going to date myself here, because as we talk about the birthday show coming up, that is my 42nd birthday. Yep. So when I was a teenager, we didn't go and buy jewel cases because you could get the slim cases, but we didn't, if we were going to spend the money on those, we would rather spend the money on discs to make.
Yeah.
And just give out the CD in like whatever. So, are you familiar with America Online?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, I say this, and I don't know. I ask, your ages and stuff, and
I can preface it a little bit. I know of America Online, but
okay. Okay, so back in the day, they used to do like minutes.
Yeah.
And shit. Like you would have like X number of minutes a month that you could use for the internet or your cell phone or whatever, your phone bill kind of shit, right? And they would give out sample discs of the app of America Online, the web browser type shit. And we used to and the discs were free. So what we used to do is we used to find the ones in jewel cases or DVD cases and take the whole kiosk of them and just throw the CDs in the paperwork If it were the DVD cases, we would reprint on the other side of the white back of the paper.
Yeah, sure.
But if they were in like the cardboard cases, we would just print out labels and cover up their logos.
Yeah, tape them on the front. Yeah.
Yeah, and put our own CDs in it and then give them out to people. I mean, we must have done thousands of copies.
Really?
Of that, of doing that. I mean, and like that's when, you know, printer ink is not cheap, and it was definitely not fucking cheap then either. So, and we're fucking, so it's like we got to run out black and white. We're running black and white fucking labels, and yeah. So the DIY thing I've always loved, and
I remember getting in trouble for that, like the printer ink. I'm printing them all in color back in like 2017 or whatever, and I was doing it here at work, I think, and they were just like, "Hey, you can't be using all the fucking color in the printer, dude." Like, I'm printing like 20 at a time.
Back in the day, the shady shit we used to do, like, so the free gaming license would, you know, basically would meant that you could basically resell your books and shit like that, and not face any kind of fucking jail time for piracy and shit or whatever. If you had like this, if you had if you bought the book, you could have the digital version for free and shit like that kind of deal. I had a friend who worked at a fucking printing press, and we fucking ran out like the entire D&D fucking manual library. Wow. And ran out of ink in the office, and he got busted from that.
Oh no.
But dude, like, no, we ran them off. We fucking ran through the fucking the binder and shit. So we fucking bought journals and fucking like put books together. It was insanely good. Fucking That's production line shit.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you that, like, you know, no matter what, it's always just around the corner. Mm-hmm. You can always do something, because you all actually had done your own your merch for the Castle Rat show.
Yep.
Yeah. The day of.
Yeah, kind of like the day before and early into the day of.
Yeah. Dude, that's always the worst when you're doing stuff the day of an important show like that, especially when it's in like midweek. Like that was a Wednesday night show. So like
I was stressed out for sure. I mean, I'm down because I couldn't get all my supplies to make the shirts. I didn't get them to where I'm currently living until like the night before or whatever. And so then the morning of, I'm like, can we make this many in time? Well, we're gonna have to, you know. So then it was, we make these shirts.
All hands on deck.
Yeah, and then in the car and let's fucking go, because you know we thought we were gonna be late and we were the first band on. We're like, I don't want to piss anybody off, so it was a race for sure.
Hell yeah. So second album is ready to go, being mixed, being mastered. I already know who's doing I know who's doing a couple of things. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag or anything, because you'll have to hear it when it comes out. But from what I heard a couple weeks ago, it was awesome. I'm digging it. And so when did you say you wanted to have it out by?
I mean, I'm aiming, no matter what, a summer release. At first I said June, but it may be pushed back to July. We'll just have to see, because I want to make sure that we do this right, you know, and have all the stuff ready that I'm envisioning. But yeah, definitely want a summer release.
Hell yeah. I know a band who's doing a weekend run that you all should jump on.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Put us on.
Insider talk. Insider talk. No, awesome. Summer release is always great, because people are always going out to shows in the summer and everything, and it's just like, I'm kind of partial to like a spring release personally with most of my albums, but there's nothing like hitting that stride when you're getting shows, you're playing shows in the summer, and you have something coming out that people can either see new songs before they get to hear them, and then they get them and they're like, holy shit, this is awesome.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, it all comes down to just like time and financial restrictions. You know, we accomplish as much as we can at the rate that we can. So it's like,
sure,
you know, the record's been written and kind of like ready to go. You know, it would have been nice if we could have, you know, over spring, but it all worked out because now we've gotten a chance kind of to even go back and revise it a little more and get it like more perfect. So I kind of think it worked out that we took a little more time with it too.
Well, yeah, because to me, I think, you know, yeah, you have deadlines and such for labels and stuff like that, but I think the ultimate thing is you still have to, you know, you've really got to know when the right time to put it out is.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
there you can only go through things so many times before you have to just wash your hands of it and say, I don't think it's going to get any better than this.
Yep, that's and you know this album has been a very different experience from top to bottom for multiple reasons, including that. And it's like this is the first album that I've ever like. I mean, we wrote the thing and we recorded it like in house, you know, and we had like rough mixes going, and you know I was playing around with it. I got like a lot of experience from this album, like learning how the recording process side of things works. Um, and yeah, it's been a learning curve for sure, but doing this album has taught us all a lot moving forward too. So it's been good for that.
Yeah. So in my personal experience, you know, I've went to a few studios in my day, but I always like the home approach to recording more than anything.
Yeah.
Comfortability is one thing, but I do think getting it out of your hands and into the hands and ears and eyes of somebody else in a mixing and mastering conception. But yeah, when you're recording, there is nothing that it is all a learning curve. Even to this day, it's still a learning curve to me. Like Mike in Overload, who records all of our stuff.
Yeah,
he can pick things out. Just there it is.
There it is. Yeah.
And I'm just like, how the fuck can you? It's like once it's like got layers and shit on it, it's hard for me to pick individual little things out. And he is amazing at it. And that's one of the things that I've always liked about the home recording aspect of it is, you know, taking the time and the care and not just putting out things as fast and as breakneck as you can.
Yeah.
You know, because then you get fixated on stuff. And it's like, I should have done this better. And then you re-record the same song 14 fucking times. And I'm not about that.
Which I might have done a little bit, you know, because that's the thing is, you know, doing it.
You might have done that in ISAL too.
Yeah, but
does he do that with you guys also?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they know.
Damn.
And it's like I've tried to get better about that. Of like, you know, no matter what, it's never gonna be like perfect. You can always go back and fix or change or redo or whatever.
Sure.
But I try to get better about that. And you know, like this album, it's like, you know, I definitely stepped it up a little bit, I think, in the vocal department, for good or for bad, because it makes it hell to do it live. But it was nice being able to be like, well, I'm in a studio, like in my own studio. I'll run this line 500 times if that's how many times it takes to get this take. You know what I mean? So that was a nice quality of it.
Sure. And, you know, that's what it is. I mean, when you break it down and watch any of the documentaries that are about the albums that make a difference in people's lives, whether it's, you know, Bad Out of Hell, British Steel, 2112, Moving Pictures, Paranoid, whatever it is, the Black Album, you know, they talk about the not millions, but, you know, hundreds of takes even on certain songs, on, you know, take 47 on the vocal track, and especially like, I brought up the Black album, that box set, has it's like Unforgiven take 27, 154 beats a minute. And then there's like take 17 at 150 beats a minute. So it's 4 beats difference or whatever. And they're just, but like, that's the way they do it. And it's fucking wild. And, the time and care it takes to get into something like that, get down from there. Sorry. She's about to walk up my record collection.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I moved them in here and now they want to scratch the sides of them. And I'm like, no. And I'm not going to cut that part out. So fuck it.
Fuck it.
But yeah, I mean, so what else show wise do y'all have going on for this year?
Currently, we got the big goddamn birthday show, and we're like open after that. I mean, we've been in some talks, but nothing's concrete yet. But we're just kind of keeping it open at the moment.
Hell yeah! So the epic return to Louisville. You all played at the big goddamn metal show last year. In the night that was going to be Kyle's triple duty night.
Only double duty.
But he only did double duty because Jason got sick and canceled. And so, yeah, the triumphant return to Louisville for Rat King. I know some people have been asking me when you all were coming back. And I'm like, hey, I've got them back in April at Art Sanctuary. So come on out.
And, dude, that show last year was so awesome, too. That was kind of really that was kind of our return to playing shows in general. We hadn't played together in quite some time before your show last year. So
hell yeah. And that's what I like about it, because that's the reasons why I put on that show, is because it's something that gets people out there. It's bands that they might not get to regularly see playing with bands that are their peer groups, and their local bands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And this year is awesome too. I can't wait to start sharing bands for that.
Absolutely.
So it's like
But let's go ahead and switch over to Derailed here. Derailed are some random questions about you as people. Doesn't have to be music related in your answer or anything like that, because hey, these are like life questions. And because I gave you the example of food, and I always tend to ask a food question because hey, look at me. I'm a big dude, and Kyle knows that we eat from the gas station at every practice across the street from Jason's house.
And we like 10 sacks from White Castle.
Yes. Shout out to the Legions of Metal shirt that you're wearing. 10 sacks of White Castle. Fuck yeah.
Shout out to White Castle.
Right. What is a food that looks disgusting to you but tastes so good?
What do we want to start with?
Okay, I got one. I get a lot of flack for this every time I bring it up. So our dad lives down in Florida, so we'll go down and visit him every once in a while, and they have Wawas there. And you know, it's just gas station with a restaurant in it, and they do anything from pizzas, fried chicken, to sandwiches. Every time I go there, I make it a staple of my trip. Several times, I get a beef egg sandwich.
And it smells foul.
It does not.
It smells foul,
no,
dude.
This thing fucking rocks.
Wait a minute. What is it? A what? A beet?
Beef
and egg.
Beef egg.
Beef
sandwich.
and egg.
Yeah.
I mean,
and so
like
a lot of people would be like,
patty.
"Oh, what kind of sauce do you put on it?" I don't. I don't. You know, to me, like, I can eat fucking, you know, gourmet, whatever the fuck, 10 course, but you put a fucking caveman meal in front of
Give
me.
me that beef and egg.
Yeah, just how about you get some bread, you get some beef, and you get some egg, scrambled egg, and you just eat that. You know,
That's good.
it rocks. It fucking rocks.
Wow. See, I've never. I mean, I've had like egg on a hamburger before, but not like not like ground beef and egg.
No, it's not ground. It's shaved beef.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
And you know,
and Kyle says it smells atrocious.
Dude, Kyle, it doesn't smell it. It smells like fucking
I'm
eggs.
sure it tastes fine, but I remember being there. I was like, "What in the fuck?" And there's a beef and egg sandwich over here in the car.
Well, the way it happened is the first time I went to Wawa. I think it was breakfast or something, and you know they have a little screen kiosk where you build your own shit. So I didn't know what I was doing, and it more or less just happened by accident. And it was like, all right, well, what kind of bread?
Those are some of the best. Hey, those are some of the best things ever when you have stuff that come out by accident.
Absolutely.
I will tell you, the Spanish rice, like Uncle Ben's Spanish rice in the pack, and you take some of the creamy chipotle sauce from Taco Bell.
Ooh,
and you put it in that fucking Spanish rice.
Oh yeah.
It is cheap caveman food but it is so fucking tasty.
That's how we do it.
The thing with the beef and egg, like I'm sure, you know, 1700s or whatever, you get back from whatever the hell they did in the 1700s, you know, fucking, you survived, you got a cold and you survived. Oh my God, I can finally eat. And you walk in and your wife is there with her little maiden pants on. She says, "Oh, honey, I'm so glad you survived this awful
Eat
day.
some beef and eggs."
It's some beef and egg.
I made you beef and eggs. You go, oh, fucking thank God. Oh yeah, thank you ever.
Well, all right, Andre, what do you have?
Ooh, okay. Hear me out. Pickled watermelon.
What in the fuck?
Let me just stop it.
It's one of those Baltic things.
Okay,
It's
so
not
I
like
fucking hate watermelon already.
Okay, never mind.
Is
Never
it
mind.
Baltic, that dog, the rescue dog?
No, that's Balto.
Oh, yeah. Close. Yeah.
No, it's like in a brine, so it's not like pickled, but you know, like how you make pickles in like vinegar, and then you can also make them in like a salt brine. You put watermelon slices in a salt brine, and when it comes out, if it's still kind of crunchy, it's like sweet and sour. It's really hard to explain, but it's so good. I thought it was the nastiest thing, and then I tried it, and it's incredible. It's
I
one
would
of those
try it.
weird like Romanian
Yeah.
dishes.
Yeah. Oh,
So when I was going into my senior year of high school, I was already 18. Okay. So the summer between my junior and senior year, I got a job at a strip club.
Yeah.
Nice.
In Louisville. And because they didn't serve alcohol, you only had to be 18 to get in and all that shit. But in August, they had an annual lap dance contest called Melon Fest. And the owners, the owners would, they trucked in a pallet of watermelons to sit on the stage and like in front of the DJ booth for the entire fucking month.
Fuck. Oh no.
And at the end, I had to be one of the people that had to clean that up, and they had rotted into the carpet.
Oh
and
God.
it was just so fucking nasty. I'll never do watermelon ever again. But I appreciate. I heard you out. I will still deny it.
Yeah.
What's that guy? Oh no, guilty as charged. That fucking guy on fucking TikTok or whatever, food crimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kyle, we've come to you. You've never said one yet.
I'm gonna say oatmeal, and let me tell you why. So me and Jason both at one point in time, we worked at a McDonald's here in town, and we would do like opening shifts there. So the breakfast food, we'd go on to work. You work those shifts with me, right? When we go on at 3 a.m.
3 to 12.
3 a.m. to 12 p.m. And so like we were the first ones in there. We turn the lights on, we start the grills, whatever, and we'd be back there in that kitchen. And you know, it comes as no surprise that when you have to smell all of like the egg and the sausage, whatever, every single morning, every single day,
no beef,
and you already just hate being there. It's like no food sounds good. So like basically all the time I worked there, I lived off of their oatmeal, which it's like that was like the one thing that didn't gross me out there. And I would make it like my own specific way because, well, for those of you that don't know, the oatmeal at McDonald's, you know, and they put like little fruit chunks in it and stuff. And they also put the same creamer that goes in the coffee. They put like that half and half stuff in the oatmeal. So I'd like pack that full of like extra creamer and stuff and make it like real sweet. And that was the one thing I could eat at the 3 a.m. shifts at McDonald's for breakfast that didn't make me sick.
Wow, man. So can you eat McDonald's now?
Yeah, sparingly. But like, yeah, like it's like I don't really have like horror stories or anything like don't eat that menu item because this happens. I don't have nothing like that, but it's just like just being around it.
Oh yeah.
And you just like in the kitchen so sick of smelling like the round egg. Dude, smell terrible.
The round egg is the devil.
Oh God, yeah. Like, the real eggs.
Yeah.
They're you know, the yellow ones are like fake hockey puck. Yeah, you throw them on the griddle. But like the real ones, you crack and then you steam them, and they smell so bad.
They're so. What really makes them nasty is the yolk, because you cook it by steaming it. It's just gross. It just reeks like hell. That's what killed me those mornings. Yeah, I lost like 10 pounds that summer because I just lost my appetite.
Because you just weren't eating.
I worked the grill back there, so it was anything. It was everything back there. It just up my nostrils. And if I can tweak the question just a little bit, a food that I think looks disgusting, and I'll never try it because of that. White gravy, never.
White gravy,
never.
Really?
Never will. Yeah, I don't trust it.
You don't trust it? It's. I mean, so like biscuits and gravy, like
I'll have a biscuit. I love biscuits.
It tastes like flour.
I mean, white gravy is just a liquid biscuit.
Yeah. I don't want. I'd rather have it. I'd rather have it solid.
I mean, when you think about it, it really is. I mean, it's made from it's wet flour. that you put
like, I'll
over
have my gravy
dry
soon.
cooked flour.
Yeah, bake my gravy, please.
Yeah, just make it for a while.
Yeah. So what about like country gravy, white gravy? Wow. So country fried
brown.
steak even.
I'll have brown gravy. I'll
No,
eat
that's
that.
totally different.
That's totally different. But I think to me, it's the sausage chunks that just make it look so.
Oh, that's the
awesome.
best part.
That is. I'm with Andre over here. That's the
I
best
like
part.
biscuits and gravy.
If it's a liquefied biscuit,
You gotta have
the only
something in
thing
there,
is
yeah.
fucking sausage, and it does not look pleasant.
Right.
I
Fair
never want
enough.
to try it.
I could get behind that because I've like, excuse me, like SOS looks terrible,
Uh-huh.
but like it's the same thing. I get it. I get how it looks unappealing because like Dairy Queens can look terrible, and yeah, I get it. You all are in Evansville. Have any movies ever been shot in Evansville that you know of?
A League of Their Own.
That's the only one that comes to my
That's
mind.
about it.
Yeah, that baseball
Really?
movie. Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
Because you know why? Because there's no crying in baseball.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, that's the only one that comes to mind.
There's been plenty of like shocking videos or like car crash videos.
Yeah.
Here.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I mean, is that because
yeah.
because the car plant's down there too? Isn't Toyota down there or something?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, up north a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. I do know a few people that live down there that do some like independent horror and stuff, but that's beside that's beside the point. That's cool. So yeah. I didn't know that. A League of Their Own.
Yeah, that's Bossy Stadium over on Heidelbach.
Yep. They still use that stadium for the baseball games.
I'm gonna have to go there just because of that. I think when I'm going out to places this year, that's gonna be my goal. Is I wanna go to where certain things have been filmed.
That's cool. Yeah.
Just because I could sit there and say I went to I was in the town that fucking they shot the stadium scenes in Their Own. That's cool shit. I never knew that.
At some point, we got to get you down here anyway, because I want to show it. Like we can look at the shirt setup and everything that I've got.
Maybe we could do that here soon.
This isn't a movie, but the Evansville Coliseum was a huge destination for wrestling in the.
You know what? That's so funny that you mentioned that, because my next fucking question.
Yeah, I was wondering when the wrestling was going to get.
Is actually a wrestling question, because I know Kyle is a huge wrestling fan. I am a huge wrestling fan. It's WrestleMania weekend. By the time we're recording this, it's before WrestleMania. By the time this airs, it'll have already happened.
Yeah.
So long live the record breaker, John Cena.
So we can get our predictions in now and see if we're right.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think he's going to break Flair's record?
I hope so, man.
I hope so.
Yes. Correct answer. Andre, are you a wrestling fan?
I feel like they kind of want to get away from that record being Flair anyways, because of how, he's been the past few years and all the stories.
Oh, he's a fucking sleaze bag. You can say
he's a fucking creep.
My professional life of like doing sound and playing in bands and shit has netted me one really cool experience. I got to run sound for Jake the Snake Roberts' one-man show.
That's
hell
awesome. Yeah.
And somebody at the end of the show, he's just telling stories and shit like that about how Andre fucking shit on him in the ring a couple of times and just crazy shit like that. And one person asked him in the crowd, he's like, hey, and let me get back into hey, you have a Ric Flair story?
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, do I have a Ric Flair story? Yeah. Ric Flair is a piece of shit in the story. And I'm like, yes.
Yep.
And I can confirm because I met Flair at a con like 2 years later, and he was an absolute fucking prick.
Yeah.
You met Flair?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, not nice.
Yeah. No, he was an absolute prick. So we just totally went on a tangent about Ric Flair being an asshole there for a
Hey, that's
second.
what we're here
Yeah,
for.
no, I mean, we can
That's
keep
what the
going
Metal
and-
Forge is all about.
That's
Ric
what we're here
Flair
for,
can
man.
suck it.
anything else wrestling. I mean, I don't want to spoil it entirely yet, but in the area we have the WWA that runs,
Yeah.
and I got a message from one of the guys that runs it, and one of our songs off this album will be the entrance theme for a wrestler.
Hell yeah, man.
That'll be something to
Fucking
look
go for it.
Yeah, which that's a life goal for me to accomplish. It's
I need to come down there and do that. We need to go down. I need to come down there and we need to go to a wrestling show.
We absolutely should, man.
Because the last time I was in Evansville, oh my God. Other than just like driving through to like St. Louis and shit, the last time I was actually at Evansville for anything was NXT.
Really? Really?
And that was in like 2016 because it had like all of the main roster people today there, except for the Shield. Except for the Shield. They were already called.
Here for NXT, man.
But like Bailey was still there, Alexa was still there, Finn was still there, Shinsuke was still there.
Man.
That's
the Perfect 10, Sean Spears, Ty Dillinger was still there. Yeah, so like it was like that summer I went to that show down there, and then they came up to Broadbent Arena here in Louisville, and I was at that one, and it was so fucking cool.
This is just still at this. Anyone who's listening that isn't into wrestling, my bad. But
skip forward.
I fucking like wrestling. So here I go.
Go for it.
WWE in general right now, I'm very loose on. It's like, I'm a big CM Punk guy. So when CM Punk came back, I was like, locked in CM Punk and had fun with it. But everything else, like, I don't know, the presentation doesn't grab me much anymore. It's a very sterile show. Like just the quality of everything is super sterile to me now.
I get
and
it.
It's just like so squeaky to watch, and it's not a knock to anyone, performing, because God bless anyone that does that.
Mm-hmm.
But
not anyone.
Well, most people, what I mean.
Yeah, true.
Just general, like if you dedicate your life to that craft, I respect that, because it's brutal. It's fucking brutal.
Yeah, it is. Been there, done that.
I've taken bumps and rings, and God, but the music is a big thing for me.
Sure.
And it's just everything sounds the same. It all just, I don't know, it's not for me right now. But like once a year, the past couple of years, around Mania, they had Cody and The Rock and Reigns and stuff that grabbed me last year. So there's just a few things that I'll lock in for. But, I was super big on AEW when it first started, just because it was different, and it still is. And I've been getting more into it again, because I kind of soured once the whole thing with CM Punk happened, and anyone's entitled to their opinion. And I'm just disappointed it happened the way it did in general. I hope the best for any of them, but AEW specifically, I'd love to go see, because it's easier for me to put my eyeballs on that, because that still looks more like a wrestling show quality-wise that I grew up with. I'm not even saying true stories or work rate. I just mean the production level is more satisfying.
Yeah, no, you're right. It does have a late, I would say a late 90s WCW look.
It's got that type of aesthetic.
And
99, 2000 era, it has that look. But it also takes a little bit of look from like Impact.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
especially with like the way the ramp setup is, like where you've got heels coming out of one side.
Man,
yeah.
What's that?
Just the stage in general. I love how that looks. You know, because that's another big thing for me with WWE right now. It's just all LED screen. You know, it's just
I get that.
Oh, wow.
When they started putting the LED ring posts out,
I'm over it.
Yeah, that's what when they put the LED ring posts out, I kind of was just like, oh, come on, guys.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing that I hated with that is when they started putting the animatronics on the screen of like the giant Roman Reigns,
horrible.
You know, that fucking shit. I hated it. I think it looks like shit. When they did the championship belts, I kind of hated it then when it first happened, but now I go back and rewatch some of that stuff, and I'm like, well, I guess they've been doing that for about 25 years.
The spinner belt and shit on the screen.
I still the championship graphics I have no qualms with, but just the way the belts and
but I will say what I think is one of the cool things that they've done, especially for the PLE stuff, is the championship matches. They've got like the one dude in the ring who's like carrying the HD cam. I mean, it's all shot in HD now, but like this guy is like shooting in like super HD because they changed the film rate to where it's like 60 frames a second. And,
I've seen that.
And it, especially in the championship, when they're announcing the champions and the challengers, it just has this awesome look to it. And it's almost like they took the idea of what WCW had done with Michael Buffer back in the day and just like made it so much more a thing. But you know, we've started talking about wrestling and I never even got to the wrestling. But let's ask the question: is who has the best ring attire?
Ever or today?
Ever.
Okay,
who's had the best ring attire ever?
Let's narrow this down a bit. Are we talking like full-on entrance gear to ring, or just wrestling?
I would say because special events count. PLEs, pay-per-views, they count. So Shawn Michaels in the white and gold reflective gear,
incredible.
Swinging in from the fucking zip line in Anaheim in 1996 was fucking killer, but it's not my favorite. So who do you think would have the best ever gear that you've ever seen?
You know who I gravitate towards? Honestly, I go to Jeff Hardy. Because
oh God, I'm so glad you said Jeff Hardy. At first, I thought you were going to say Jeff Jarrett with that weird like fucking fucking like
Jarrett's badass, but fucking like the armbands and the red.
Yeah, he just had the image, and then you know all the kids have the arm. We had the armbands. We had the little necklace. Like
I still do.
You know.
The little twist of fate symbol.
Yes,
I have that on my bookshelf at home.
Hell yeah!
You used to wear it for shows.
Yeah, I was about to don it once again for the Castle Rack show, but I will say specifically before my next part, specifically early 2000s, like right when they just got the new stage for Raw and stuff. Whenever he first started doing like the body paint and the black light, he'd come out. You see him flicking it off his hands. That's the coolest shit I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah. Back in like 2001, 2002, like, or are you talking like where he was doing like solo stuff?
Yeah, well, he was still doing that. He was still involved with Matt Hardy, but like the era of
it's kind of when they were pushing him as a singles a little more.
Okay, so that would have been more like 05, 06. Yeah,
and then he did it in TNA when he went there early. But as far as like just pure wrestling gear, Bret Hart, pink and black singlet, you can't beat that.
You can't go wrong with that.
That's
nope.
I look at that dude. That is what wrestling looks like to me.
That's the Hitman, man.
Dude, I like the thing. I like the ones where
I think
I love wrestling, but I don't watch it. I think to the same extent.
Yeah,
that you guys do.
we're the ones that put wrestling promos all over our music, not him.
Hell yes. For me, I would have to say one of the best entrances I've ever seen, and I'll go with this, was what is it, WrestleMania 30 with Triple H,
Oh, the
where he
Terminator
comes
stuff?
out on the giant trike with Stephanie,
Oh yeah.
Oh, that.
where she's wearing the skull mask at first and announces him.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was.
I remember that.
That was 32, I think. That
Was it 32? Was that the one with was that the one where they wrestled Kurt and Ronda?
No, I think that was a year or two after. I think.
Or was that the year? I'm sure that was that might have been the year that he wrestled Daniel Bryan.
30 was.
That was where he wrestled Daniel Bryan. Was it 30?
Yeah, 30.
Because it was the first match on the card.
Yeah, yeah, and that was his qualifier to get into the main event.
Which that's one of my favorite lead ups to any story. Was like
amazing.
the 2 weeks before that, where they had Daniel Bryan arrested on Raw, and in Triple H, he's like, "All right, guys, let him go, because you're not real cops, anyways." And it starts kicking the shit out of him. Yeah. Oh, such a good fucking. I'm a Triple H fan, but yeah, the Bret Hart deal. I'm a huge Bret Hart fan as well. Fuck Bill Goldberg. Hashtag.
Let me tell you something about Bill Goldberg.
Yeah, let me tell you something about Bill Goldberg. Fuck Bill Goldberg. Yeah. But yeah,
beast among trees. That's a different.
One of the coolest things is if you go back into the 80s and watch some of the early Hart Foundation stuff, they're actually in blue and black.
Yep.
And it's so cool because like
curly hair.
Yeah, yeah. Or you go back in to when Bret first showed up in like 1982, and he's a cowboy.
Yeah,
he's cowboy Bret Hart, and he's like, I kind of don't want to be a cowboy, Vince.
It's fucking awesome.
One of my most favorite interviews that I've done on this show was Lips from Anvil, and go back and listen to it because there's not a video version, but I will say, if you listen to it, you think I'm talking to Bret Hart.
Really? Nice.
He sounds much like Bret because they're both from Canada, and I know that they're both from different parts of Canada, but they sound so similar. It's so cool. So yeah, give me some recommendations. Give me what's your favorite go-to wrestling. If you were to put on something today that you could just veg out and watch wrestling to, what would you watch?
I mean, this ain't even a recommendation. If I'm in like a wrestling mood and I just want to watch I put on WrestleMania 17. Yeah, no.
Of course you do. It's
it's
apparently the greatest fucking WrestleMania ever.
I think
voted
so.
by the fans.
I think so. And you got the Rock, Stone Cold with Limp Bizkit. Come on, man.
Isn't that the one that 17 is also the one with the TLC 2, right?
Yeah, buddy, with Rhino and stuff as well.
Dude,
yeah,
another all-timer for me.
Yeah, that match is amazing.
Yeah, 17's good. It's got the gimmick battle royal, which was funny because Sheik apparently lied to him, said he couldn't go over the top rope, so they let him win.
So they let him win.
He still ended up doing the fucking bump anyways, so he could get he just basically did it so he could get more fucking money out of him.
Yeah,
and they would put him over.
It's also the one where Stone Cold turned heel.
Yep, it is. When he finally aligned with Vince and jumped the shark, and then he lasted another year.
Was it like a year?
Yeah,
I loved his. I loved his.
Because the next the next WrestleMania he wrestled Scott Hall.
Yeah,
did he?
And then that was his final match with Rock.
I thought it was just. Yeah, I thought 18 was his. Oh
nope,
I didn't know that.
He's right.
Yeah, and then that was it. Yeah, because then he wanted to do the job to Brock on Raw, and he said, all right, I'm going home. Fuck you, bunch of y'all.
If I was just gonna veg out, put something on, fucking, I would pick an episode in 2001 or 2002 SmackDown. I would just let it run. If I wanted to watch, just turn my brain off, watch WWE.
Just a good era.
Yeah.
That is.
I've been making a good point to go back and watch more about WCW, because by the time I was, conscious, it was already dead.
Sure.
So yeah, like 97.
That was exciting times,
dude.
The Monday Night Wars.
I wish I could have seen it in real time, because there's a lot of awesome stuff they did. Just appearance wise, it was so different from WWF back then.
But I noticed
ECW. I like to go back and watch a lot of that too, because Taz was just a fucking monster.
Oh yeah. What I usually, Andre, do you do anything like that? Do you go back and watch any wrestling or?
No.
I think it's just like when he comes over to our house and he watches wrestling with us.
Right on.
Don't worry, your answer is WrestleMania 17.
Yeah, I think actually that was the last one that I don't know if we I think we had
we're like okay, Andre, study this.
Yep. We're gonna write a concept album about it.
That's right.
I'm down.
The ultimate heel turn at the end.
That's right.
For me, I remember, so like I had a VHS tape that I got from my local mom and pop owned video store when they decided to sell all of their wrestling tapes. So I got like a ton of fucking shit. I had like all the early WrestleManias. I had like, up until then I had like 1 through 10 or whatever on VHS, and all the early SummerSlams and shit like that. But there was one called Global Warfare, and it was a bunch of matches between 93 and 94 or 92 and 93, something like that. And it was like the match bumpers like had Jimmy Hart in his house, and he's like, oh boy. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, I hate Jimmy Hart. I don't hate him, but you know what I mean. It's just like, I've heard enough of him. But like the matches on there were house show matches, and they were all fucking like top notch house show matches. There was like a Taker and Undertaker match. There was Brett and Bam Bam leading up to the King of the Ring match, because it was almost the same as the King of the Ring 93 match. Yeah. Brett beat him the same way with the moonsault off of the top and shit. Right. So cool. Yeah, that's such a cool era. But like my go-to are 2 matches usually. And it's and ironically enough, they're both at WrestleMania. They're a year apart. And one is WrestleMania 12 Iron Man match with Brett and Shawn.
Fair enough, yeah.
And the other is WrestleMania 13, which is being inducted into the Hall of Fame as the first classic match.
Oh my God, dude!
Brett versus Austin at WrestleMania 13, the double turn.
Yeah.
Is that the one with the shot of him bleeding?
Yep. Yep.
The classic.
The one that they used for his VHS tape because Stone Cold said so. Yep.
That's right.
It.
Yep.
Just a quick recommendation. I think it was All Japan Pro Wrestling is where a lot of it took place. And in the 90s, All Japan, I mostly know of the women's division, killers.
Oh, yeah.
They were out for blood every fucking night.
Yeah, you were just showing me that the other night.
It's like Megami Kodo, I think, is her name, and she's just a beast. It's like she's wearing this pink singlet, just this, just looks so sweet and innocent. She'll just go out there and fucking barbed wire rope match. Like, oh.
Yeah.
Dude, there's one I saw a clip on, like a reel, where this chick gets the other one up for a crucifix power bomb,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a razor's edge.
Yeah.
And the other, it's like a triple threat match. And so she's got her up on shoulders like so. And then the girl, she's near the corner, and this girl fucking just smashes her in the head with a chair. And then they still do the razor's edge with the chair wrapped around her neck.
God.
Yep.
And it looks so vile. And it's just like, oh. But yeah. What's something you keep telling yourself you'll do when you retire or when you have the time?
The laundry.
Dig it. I think I'm in that same category.
Fair enough. Yeah,
I don't know.
These still smell good.
I don't really have any, you know, like, but I'll build a birdhouse, you know, things like that. It's just, I just want to not feel like I'm living under constant pressure,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
totally fair.
I'd want to try my hand at ranching.
Ranching?
Yeah. The ranch.
Hell yeah.
I don't know anything about it, but it's cool.
I love traveling. I want to see as much as I can, and bonus points if, you know, I get to go to places and play music on top of it. I just want to see the sights, you know.
It's like if I had the money, I would want to go to Belfast, and I want to see the wharf where they built the Titanic.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Definitely. Hell yeah. The traveling thing I could totally get behind, you know, especially wanting to go overseas or abroad or however you want to say it. You know, going over to see the motherland, as it were. You know, to see where, like, my family, you know, finding relatives over there and
Absolutely.
stuff would be so cool. So I always ask some like weird conspiracy theory questions too.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think Stonehenge was man-made?
Stonehenge?
I was thinking about that earlier this week, and
There's like a language carved in it, isn't there? Or did I make that up?
Is there?
There's like,
I don't think there's a language.
I don't know about that.
okay, no.
I don't
I just
know. I
made it
mean,
up.
like, maybe. I want to say.
Do you believe that the mythological the mythos of like the Druids and the Tuatha De Danann and stuff like that, where you know, they fought for the island of Ireland and England back in the day, and with the immortals and shit?
Isn't it like, doesn't Stonehenge, what did I read about Stonehenge? Like it lines up with like stars or something? Like,
Yeah,
is that what I heard?
it's like an astral. It's like a lunar calendar.
Yeah. So like they had the know-how to design it that way, whoever built it.
I think it was built by people. I just think it's a lot older than people say it is. Some of the pyramids, like way
Older than people say.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
the pyramids perplex me too.
They do, yeah. Especially like there was an article that was released a couple of months ago on the pyramids where they had done like a sonar like echo from like space.
Yeah.
And apparently it reverberated off of all kinds of like chambers and shit between the middle pyramid at Giza. And and it was like 6 miles underground or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard about that. It's nuts.
Yeah, that's like, it makes you wonder if that's like real or if it's just as I'm gonna get into the next question here, or is it just something that's fucking made up to you know, to draw your attention somewhere else.
True.
Which, you know, given the way things are in society, Jason, you had said something, you know, if I had the money to do this and stuff and such, You know, I've been no stranger to places like secondhand shops and thrift shops and pawn shops. With the way currency and shit is in America, how like the devaluation of the dollar and all that fucking goofy shit. Do you think those places, those stores will still exist in another 20 years?
20 years? If they do, I think it'll just be a totally different landscape.
Yeah.
You know, the way they exist now, I don't know exactly how it would change, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But it's like, it'll probably have to adapt and change, or, you know what I mean?
I mean, do you think they'll become more corporatized like Goodwill?
I'm sure, to a degree, yeah.
I think you're always going to have independent ones. I mean, especially for secondhand, it's just a matter of, you know, what comes in the door, and if there's still people that. Just for a short answer, yeah, I think there will be.
Cool.
But,
they are getting a lot more expensive. Like I remember buying a leather jacket at one of our little thrift stores.
Yeah.
For like $20, and then I went to Nashville, and I went to a thrift store, and I was like, "Holy shit! It's my jacket. They have the same exact jacket." It was like $150.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
well, but that's also Nashville too.
Yeah,
True.
yeah.
And you got to think the style in Nashville is whatever, you know. Nashville is really eclectic. It's like you've got like everything going on. It's such a melting pot, and it's such an amalgamation of like people. You know, because you've got rockers, you've got country, you've got punk, you've got metal, you've folk, you know, you've got all kinds of, you know, so yeah. And maybe because of it being Evansville, that was the thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it could have been so much. It could have been $20 in East St. Louis too. Actually, probably would have been less in East St. Louis because that's a fucking shithole. They probably would have given it to you in East St. Louis. So I have one more question. But before we get to it, as always, you know, there's links. They're listed below. So please give likes, shares, follows, go do the things and all the stuff. Go buy merch. I say this every week. You hear me. Every week I say this. Go buy merch. Go to shows. Support these dudes in any and every way you fucking can because they kick ass. They're awesome fucking people. And I'm looking forward to playing another show with them outside of the birthday show too. So, do you all have anything else you'd like to shout out or promote today?
Shit.
Any fuck yous you want to give to anybody? I don't care.
Any fuck yous?
They already know.
They already know.
Yeah.
They know.
They know. They know who they are. You know who you are, fuckers.
Yep. And thanks for helping fuel a really good album out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say about that.
I mean, you know, that's my thing is, you know, writing music, recording music, to me, it's got to come from a place from the heart. Because if it doesn't, what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah, you can write the same fucking 3-chord songs or 4-chord songs fucking a million times and probably, you know, sell them to somebody like a Nickelback or a whatever and fucking make money off of it. But, you know, that's not the end all be all for some people. It's not for me because I'm an artist.
Yeah. I'll tell you.
And it took me a long time to understand what that was.
For sure. Like I'll tell you this album process has obviously been totally different. And it was recorded at home and mostly all it was recorded last year, which was just a fuck of a year in multiple ways. And like writing that album was like straight therapy for me. And like you hear that on the album. The album is like, I don't know if people are ready for how heavy this album is. There's songs on it that are difficult for me to listen to now because just of the lyrical nature of it. There's certain songs on there that like they're just like a time capsule, and like I think they're important to be documented, if that makes sense. But I just want to leave them in that time capsule. Like there's certain songs that I wouldn't even want to play live necessarily, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah,
just a very heavy album in many different ways.
No, I totally get that, because there's songs that I've had out for years that like they become album tracks because of the content that they're about.
Exactly.
And I don't want to necessarily bring that negativity back into my life, because I wrote it out in that song. And yeah, I might have played it live a few times, but they never felt good to play live.
And it served its purpose in you channeling it into the creation of that song in the first place. That was the purpose of it. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. So my final question of the day, and thank you all for coming today. This has been awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Such an awesome conversation. Is it's time to unplug. Okay. You're sitting at home, you're not watching wrestling, you're gonna sit there and what is the ultimate go-to album?
So with you,
if you could the album that you're gonna recommend to people right now is the album that is your quintessential being of an album.
I have a
I want to know your answer. Yeah.
Super niche, but huge inspiration to me. So there was a movie, it's a Jim Jarmusch movie called Only Lovers Left Alive. And I think it was either him or one of the producers or something. His band made the soundtrack to the movie. And it's the coolest, like psychedelic, weird soundtrack. There's like a Wanda Jackson cover, and it's really cool. I can't even explain it. You'll just have to listen. It's the soundtrack to that movie.
Soundtrack.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's got like medieval instruments, and you just have to see.
Hell yeah.
And then, you want to go?
So, within the context of I'm at home, it's a chill environment. I'm gonna listen to. There's two that I'm gonna pick from. It's either they're the same band. It's either gonna be the album Empire by Angels and Airwaves, or Love Part 1 and 2 by Angels and Airwaves.
There it is.
Right.
There's our different musical tastes in this band.
I can't help it. I'm a big Tom DeLonge guy.
Hell yeah.
Right on.
But I don't know, just a lot of really neat sounds in those records. You know, they have a lot of spacey shit in there, a lot of synth pop punk, and just badass stuff. You know, they're really good to zone out to. The past few years, there's been a lot of nights I'd fall asleep to Empire. It's just a good, really good fucking record.
And I think I remember like you bragging on those records, and you were like, you should finally like sit down and listen to them. And at least one of them I listened to, and I always knew like Angels and Airwaves just from like hearing it like on the radio or something. But they really are a good ass band.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with possibly a cliche for stoner doom band here, I guess. But I'm gonna go with
Sword.
Nope, not that. I'm gonna go with "Come My Fanatics" by Electric Wizard, not Dope Throne, because and maybe I will get in trouble for this because everybody always says Dope Throne. I think "Come My Fanatics" is better, and I have my reasons why. But it can also, in a weird way, I think it. I don't want to like make it sound like, we're Electric Wizard or something, but it almost like read the same way of how that album came to be. So like if you go back in Electric Wizard's catalog, they have an album before the classics, before Dope Throne and Funeralopolis and Super Kevin, before all that. Their first album was just called Electric Wizard. And I don't remember where they recorded it, but if you listen to it, like they're tuned to, C sharp or C flat or like just straight Tony Iommi tuning, and it's just Sabbath worship. And it's a great album. I like it, but they hate it. Like the members of that band, they go back and they listen to it. They hate it. They think it's just derivative. And at the time after they recorded it, the singer and all them was like in an interview in like the late 90s, and he's like, you know, it's just not heavy enough, which is funny because it's Electric Wizard. It was still heavy. And so what did they do? They plugged in a hyperfuzz and started tuning down to B, and then wrote "Come My Fanatics," which is just like this drug-filled frenzy of an album.
And unbeknownst to us, we did literally the exact same thing.
Kind of in a weird way, it went full circle because we felt like we didn't mean for it to happen like that. But like the first album that Rat King did, you know, when we listen to it now, we listen to a younger band that's like, we know we can do better, and we know that we're like, it's just heavier. You know, we're heavier now, and like we run through the hyperfuzz now. So it was unintentional, but either way you look at it, Come My Fanatics easily. And like whether you're sitting there like with a one hitter or you're just like staring at the wall, like that album is a trip. It is always a trip, and it is just filled with, in my opinion, Electric Wizard's best riffs. Even more so than Dope Throne. I love Dope Throne, but Come My Fanatics is special to me.
Hell yeah. You all heard it. Awesome fucking recommendations. Andre, Jason, Kyle, Rat King, thank you all so fucking much. This has been awesome. And you know what? I'm gonna pick, I don't usually do this, but I'm gonna pick the song going out today. And because it's one of my favorite all-time songs that you all covered.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm totally gonna play a cover out today. I absolutely love this song. If you are a fan of the Electric Light Orchestra, you know it already. Let's just go ahead and get into it.
I guess we're fans.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
You made a fool of me with them broken dreams have got to wait.
Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttattooandpiercing@gmail.com, and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing.
Hey metalheads, after going to a rager, what's your ultimate go-to? Mine is totally pizza. So when Overload is playing, or I'm promoting the Metal Forge live showcases, or the big goddamn metal show, I go to Pizza Donisi. Pizza Donisi is gourmet artisan pizza from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. It features things like the pizza of the month, the sandwiches, and also vegetarian and vegan options, which is so totally fucking cool for all of it's awesome pizza. You definitely want to go. Hey, and also from time to time they do cannolis. Oh, so fucking good. You know what they said, man? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah, just like that in Godfather. They're located right next to the Mag Bar at 1396 South 2nd Street. So either stop in or call in at 502-213-0488. They're open till midnight. The witching hour.
Heineken, fuck that shit. Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Hey metalheads, you all hear me talk about Mag Bar all the time. It is the home to the Metal Forge live showcases and is an integral stop in the ultimate underground metal tour schedule. They obviously feature live music, but the Mag Bar also has daily specials like Pint and Slice Night on Tuesdays with Pizza Donisi. But they also do Bring Your Own Vinyl on Thursdays with DJ Kent Jackson, and Finer Things Sundays. Located right next to Pizza Donisi at 1398 South 2nd Street, open 3 p.m. to 4 a.m. 7 days a week. Get your asses out to the Mag Bar. Rock out. For 45 years and keeping Louisville weird, Electric Ladyland has been there for all your eccentricities. While they do offer the best smoking supplies out on the market today, there's a whole lot more to check out. From ashtrays and blacklight posters, to records, incense and burners, and items to stock your metaphysical supply. They're open from 10 to 10, 7 days a week. Located at 2325 Bardstown Road in Louisville, Kentucky, and at electricladyland420.com. Roll out. In 2017, one man's vision and passion for all things metal started out as a record store in his house. Years later, the fight against a mainstream empire continues as Shade Beast. An independent metal collective and online store based in Athens, Georgia, is the world's premier heavy metal brand for music heads that value authenticity over the mainstream acceptance. Featuring original t-shirts from some of the best underground artists, as well as stickers, posters from the Shade Beast Presents concert series.
Unique, one-of-a-kind collectibles and small curated selection of vinyl and cassettes from the masters old and new. Visit shadebeast.com and enter promo code SithLord for free domestic shipping on your first order, whether you're a new customer or returning. And be sure to join the Shade Beast social groups on Facebook and the interwebs to keep up with the new release announcements and talk all things metal and Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and filth.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Since 2013, there has been a calling from the underground, from the graves of all those unholy, and they decided to make a zine to talk about all of this. Soul Grinder Zine! An independent metal zine to keep you informed on all things metal and horror from the underground. Available in both print and digital formats, they're bringing you the best interviews and reviews out there today. Not only do they do the zine, but they also do compilation CDs. Check them out at facebook.com/soulgrinder.zine and start your subscription now. Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code METALFORGE10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Set back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code METALFORGE10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now.
Hey Metalheads, it's with great pleasure I get to tell you guys about a new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Ageless Art, New Albany. After 20 years of owning and operating Ageless Art in Clarksville, Indiana, Phil Garrett had a vision for a new type of tattoo studio. Something that is clean and modern, sleek, refined, inviting. And he's done just that with Ageless Art in New Albany. You can find it at 2736 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana, 47150. Business hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays are 12 to 6. All sessions are appointment only, so give them a call and go get you some new ink. Or if it's your first time, go get your first one, baby.
In a broken wasteland, come to my fire and place your blood and steel upon